guys, we are the Scott Family Homestead Off-Grid. My name is Jessica, this is my husband Dylan. Today we're going to talk to you guys about going off-grid and what it's like living now and taking those steps.
Yeah, and what we mean by that is, currently we are not off-grid. We currently live in Aurora, Colorado. It's not a bad place to live by any means. We just think that things are too busy and there's too many distractions. And nothing against people or anything like that, but we don't think this is a good place to raise our son. Our son he was just born. He's 4 months old.
He'll be 4 months old on the 29th.
Yeah, so in a couple days. And we just wanted to change our lives. We kind of had a realization. A couple of years back, we were sitting here on the couch. We were watching a movie on TV. I had just gotten off work, and Jess had gotten off work. We made dinner for ourselves. This was during the time we worked for a year, a little over a year, trying to conceive a child. But we were almost certain it wasn't going to happen, and we were blessed with Logan. So we were sitting here and we were talking a little bit, and then we kind of got into our old habits, our distractions, if you will, of our cell phones, our electronic devices. The world is so busy that we're sitting next to each other, not spending any time with each other, even though we only have a few hours at night together. So we're sitting here watching TV. I'm on my phone checking my work emails and emailing my coworkers, my boss, so on and so forth. Jess is on her phone doing her thing, whether it be, talking to her family, her friends, or on her social media. And I kind of sat back. I looked at my phone. I looked at Jess and her phone. I turned over and I looked at the TV, and I realized, what are we doing? We're planning on bringing a kid into this world, and we're so distracted. We're so not in tune with each other that we can't even spend the time together, the few hours at night we have together.
Right.
And to me, it hurt me. It was puzzling. It was weird that it was so distracting that we can't even focus on each other. So how are we going to be able to focus on our son? Or at that time we didn't know that we were going to have a son eventually. So at that point in time, I looked over at Jess and I said, how would you feel about disconnecting and moving off grid and living a simpler life? One with fewer distractions, fewer people to pollute our minds. Not saying, that people were easily, what do you want to say, easily taken advantage of, or anything like that. Probably the wrong context there, but don't hurt me. But we just kind of sat there and we were thinking about it, and I looked at her, I asked her that question, and she said, yeah, let's do it. No doubts in her mind whatsoever. It made perfect sense to her and made perfect sense to me. So that was kind of the beginning of our journey. I had kind of wanted this lifestyle for a long time, and she has expressed interest in it. But we never made the leap, and we still haven't fully made that leap, but we're making every step necessary to do so. And we kind of wanted to share that with you guys. We wanted to share our journey to our land and how we're making the steps currently to get there. Because a lot of people don't really explain that on YouTube channels. That's
the big question.
Yeah, even on our Facebook groups, they just don't explain it. They just kind of show you in the moment, like, oh, hey, we're on our land. This is what we're doing.
Right. We want to
kind of explain that. Yeah.
Show the struggle. see what steps are necessary.
And don't get us wrong. It's not hard. It's not a bad struggle or anything like that.
It's
but,
just a different living style.
And there's a lot of unknowns when you're living the modern lifestyle. There's a lot of unknowns. You know, you're thinking about doing something that isn't unheard of. It's not crazy. It's just different. It's different from the norm.
Exactly.
And to us, that sounds amazing. It sounds like paradise,
yes.
to be honest. So that's kind of our process here, and we just wanted to explain a little bit, you know, and kind of introduce you to our new YouTube channel. So welcome, and I think I'm going to turn the reins over to Jess here.
I lived in Erie, Colorado. That was an amazing experience. I didn't live there too long, unfortunately. It was very beautiful. I loved it. Then I lived in Louisville, Colorado, which is very, very amazing as well. It's, I would say, 5 miles away. It's give or take. I was very privileged, I would say. I had an amazing father. He gave me pretty much honestly everything. He tried very hard, and a grandmother as well. They both did phenomenal on raising me. But I was also very privileged. I didn't really understand on...
Or appreciate
exactly,
what you had.
Exactly.
And what it took to get it.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, sure, I got grounded and all that fun stuff, but you know, if I wanted something, I pretty much got it. So I don't want to do that to my son Logan, because I understand how hard it is when you're older and you understand, like, hey, things come with a price. And I want to give my son the best life he can have as a family, and we both discussed that many times.
And to spend the time with him that, you know, he deserves.
Exactly.
Not saying anybody who lives on grid gives less time. It's just what we noticed. So don't take that with a grain of salt. We both realize that I'm tired when I get home. I mean I work a pretty physical job. Jess at the time was, you know, when she was working, you know, now she's a full-time mom.
Yes.
Which
it's the best job I've ever had.
Exactly. So I don't get to experience that as much, you know, because I work constantly. I get home, I'm tired, I don't want to do anything, I just want to sit and relax, you know. I've got back pain, you know, all sorts of different issues. Yeah, that'll be later on, but you know, I want to experience these things she's experiencing, and you know, she's done a great job with our son so far. I just feel like I'm not as engaged, and I feel that I'm kind of distanced from it. And you know, she wants me around, and it's hard for me to be around with our jobs. You know, the way we have to provide, I have to provide for my family where I'm at.
And I am blessed with an amazing family. He works so hard to provide for us, and he is the perfect son. A lot of questions we get from other people like, why? Why would you want to throw everything away you have here? You know, you can, I don't know, get hot water instantly.
You can
it.
Proceed from here. You can, you know,
you
guys are doing so well already.
Exactly.
Why
yeah.
why don't you keep going? You know, I don't make bad money. I make a fairly decent amount. I can support us alone in Colorado, which is kind of unheard of.
Yeah,
single
if you live
income.
in Colorado, you would understand. Yeah. He makes decent money, but we're not about money in this family. We're about connecting with each other. We're about connecting with each other and being that family that gives our son everything that he needs, love-wise. So why do we make this change? That's a big question that a lot of people ask.
And it's hard to give an exact answer.
Yeah, there's throughout all the videos that we're gonna make. One, it's for him. Two, it's for us.
Yeah, it's for us mentally, for me physically, yeah. For sure. You know, it's gonna be rough. It's not gonna be easy by any means, but mentally and physically for the both of us. You know, she's strained all day, you know, having to take care of our son pretty much by herself. I mean, I help, don't get me wrong. I try to do everything I can for our son. But at the end of the day, let's face it, I'm freaking exhausted. I'm tired. Most of the time I don't get breaks. Because if I'm not at work, I'm either helping friends, I'm helping family, I'm trying to get our stuff for off-grid going, which is, to be honest, the more enjoyable part of it is because I know in the future there will be something great that comes out of it. You know, and that's kind of what has led us up to this. You know, and we would like to kind of go over like our job experiences. You know, Jessica has, you know, been working, and you know, she before she was a full-time mommy, she had a regular job just like everybody else.
Yeah,
a few different
I had
jobs.
a few different jobs. My very first job was actually a farm. It's actually called Pony Express. It was an amazing job. It's actually by far my favorite. I got to work with a lot of animals. I got to work with children. Both things I love very much. Unfortunately, I had to leave that job. I was a teenager at that time, and then I moved, or not moved. Then I worked at a movie theater. It's all right. We won't go into that one too much.
That's not it.
And then I worked with dogs, and that was amazing. I got to learn about dogs. I got to train dogs. I got to understand dogs. Just a lot about dogs. Let's just put it that way. And then I was a leasing agent. That was really fun. I loved it. But then I got tired of it, and I was like, all right, it's time to be a stay-at-home mom and give all of my attention to my son and my family.
Yeah, I agree. Which is amazing. And, you know, I had some friends that helped me get to the point. One in particular, I won't mention his name because, you know, I haven't gotten permission from him, but he actually helped me get my current job. Not saying I wasn't qualified for it and I couldn't have done it by myself. He just put my name in the hat. He threw my name into the ring. Which in turn brought me out of a situation where I was undervalued, I guess, as a employee. Not by my immediate staff, but by the corporate level, if that makes sense. I wasn't making bad money there either. You know, it wasn't great. But people in my profession were making a lot more than I was. And again, money isn't everything. But at that point in time, I decided I need to make more. And that's the way our lives in this world that we currently live in kind of train us to be, is we have to make more. You have to do more. You have to spend less time with your family to give them the life that they deserve. Now, if you stop and think about that, it doesn't make sense, right? You have to spend more time away from them to give them the best. It's messed up. It sounds messed up to me. And to Jess. I mean, we both agree that it's messed up that that's the way life is. Sorry, our little pooch here is feeling neglected. This is Via here. She's a needy little dog. But yeah, so in the full extent of that, I ended up getting another job, making it was a considerable amount more. Going backwards in title, needless to say. I mean, I went backwards in title and I'm making more. So you can kind of see I was definitely undervalued where I was at. But before that, I had very humbly moved up the ladder in different fields. I was a construction laborer. I ended up rising up, and I made a little career path out of building brand new houses. And this was when I was like, 16. 16, and I became a foreman for a construction company at 16 years old. And then from there, I went on to being a welder. And I worked at a few different welding shops, and I was a supervisor for 3 different welding companies. One of them I worked on water towers. I was hanging from water towers on a rope playing with fire. And I kind of decided, it was too hard on the body. Which brought me out here to Colorado. And I thought it was going to be easier on me, which in turn it became harder mentally, not so much physically, but mentally. And then we kind of just, worked it out, I guess.
Yeah.
Right? And then that kind of led us to where we were at. But it all in all, our lives aren't bad. I was raised in my younger childhood. I was pretty privileged as well. We did grow up on a farm, which my family had paid a considerable amount of money for in cash when we moved out there, which is kind of unheard of. And that was back in the early 90s. And then things happened between my parents. We ended up having to leave that house. They filed for bankruptcy. My parents later got a divorce. They ended up, getting the divorce. My dad had turned to alcoholism, and it eventually killed him a number of years later. And my mom is doing great. And, it's all those decisions in our lives. And, I don't know what has caused some of the things, I was younger at the time, but I don't know what had caused my dad to start drinking, things like that. I just know that the more time we can spend with our families, the better.
Right.
And, that's kind of what our goal is.
Right.
Which kind of leads us into our next topic of what are our true goals going off grid? What do we hope to gain? What experience do we hope to have? So, hon, what's your experience? What do you hope to gain? What do you hope to experience when we move out? When we actually fully go off grid?
That's a big question. Personally I want us to all be a family, of course, and give our son the best that we can. Us wake up every day. Us do the daily chores, which we are going to discuss on what we're going to do, of course. We're going to be making a lot of crafts. We're going to be making, we're going to be doing dinner every night, of course. And ultimately, we're going to have our wonderful house. It's not going to be huge, and it's not going to be small either. What did you say there?
Well, yeah, so when it comes to the house, we've got a plan, and kind of my goal that's been going on for a long time. I've always wanted to, it may sound cheesy, but I've always wanted to, oh yeah, I've always wanted to be able to pass down something that I've built to our son, to our kids. We might have more.
And we will. We will have more.
Yeah, but who knows? But yeah, that's
that's been our goal. Is
I want to be able to have something where my son can say, or my kids can say, my dad and mom built this with their 2 hands. To me, that's amazing. It's just amazing to have that happen. It used to be very common. In the earlier days, it used to be extremely common. You would get a piece of land, you would go build your house, and that land would get turned down for generations and generations and generations. It doesn't happen anymore.
Exactly.
Very rarely, at least. And I want that, and I think we both want that.
And another goal of mine is, as we discussed a couple days ago, actually, is to be our true selves around each other.
Right.
It's not like we're
Very
hiding
true.
anything.
No,
but
no, no.
to be our true selves around each other and our family, because we want, of course, our
So-
son to grow up and, you know, it's okay to be yourself. And who cares what people think necessarily? You want to just be yourself.
Right. And a little more insight into that is we were talking about it is not necessarily that we aren't our full selves around each other, but we do hold back a lot, and that's what society's kind of programmed us to do. Because the fear of being thought of as weird or not normal, or just things like that. Not saying like I'm a complete crazy cuckoo head, or
Yeah, you are.
but you know what I mean. It's the getting to the point of complete what do you want? Complete comfort
Right. Yeah.
around each other.
Yeah. Understanding each other fully.
Yeah, to the fullest extent. Exactly. You kind of hold it back because you're afraid of what somebody else might think of you, or the way the rest of the world sees you, or you're afraid of acting that way in front of your significant other, and then them noticing that you're different in public. It's kind of a two-faced life, and we're kind of over it.
Yeah.
We want to be our full selves. If I'm gooky, if I'm goofy, weird and crazy a little bit sometimes, or I say crazy stuff, or she says crazy stuff, then so
be
what?
it.
That's us. That's kind of what it amounts
Ultimately
to.
is, we're family and we're united and we all love each other and we want to progress that and
Right.
go on with that.
Well, I think we'll kind of leave the rest of it to our future videos. Our future videos won't just be us talking.
Yeah, we're going to actually hands-on experience.
Yeah, and kind of going the step-by-step process. I've got drawings of I've got many different drawings of our first little house that we're going to build.
All of his amazing tools that he...
Yeah, we'll go over some of the tools, the reasons I've chosen to purchase them. We'll go over our land. We'll go over what we're thinking. Just a little snippet. We decided we're gonna build a smaller house at first to get us on the land,
Yes.
and then when we're down there, we're gonna develop the land and we're gonna build a bigger, not huge house overlooking the lake that is next to our property. It's not necessarily on our property, but we can build next to it. We do have access to it.
We do have land, if that is a question.
Yeah,
do
and
have
we
land.
ended up buying land in Oklahoma. We will get a little bit more into that. We don't want to disclose our location so we don't have a bunch of people moving down there. But we do want to kind of show you guys what we're doing and just kind of go from there. I mean, we have tons of projects. We got several things set up. Lots of new tools, new items coming in. Things we weren't planning on doing, but it kind of fell into our laps, and we decided to, heck, why not? Might as well make our jobs a little bit easier off grid. So, I guess with that, Logan's not up yet. We're kind of hoping he would wake up so we can kind of introduce you. We will just quick show you him. Don't mind the mess. We're sorry. So he's sitting over there. He's sleeping right now. So, but he will definitely be in our future videos along with our dog Via over here and Minnie Pearl wherever she ran off to. But we look forward to sharing our journey with you guys and continuing this on. And we're sorry this video is so long, but we thought it was necessary to explain
so if you guys-
explain ourselves
Exactly.
and introduce ourselves.
We just want to answer those questions that a lot of people
Right, and
have.
we're sure there's going to be many more questions as time goes on. But we invite everyone to of course subscribe to our channel and follow us in our journey, because we're going to be going over everything. Anything and everything we can think of. We're probably going to miss some stuff, so don't hold us to it. But yeah, we're going to try to cover as much ground as possible, and go into as much depth as we can.
Yeah.
And we'll also try to get some cooking videos up.
Yes, definitely. I love to cook.
Love food. But all right, we're gonna let you guys go, and make sure you subscribe and like us, and share us to your friends.